Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Irongeek cast number 141, Spooky Packets.
It's just me, or does this sound really distorted?
Could be that. I don't know.
It was just you.
It was okay.
But that was crazy loud, though.
Yeah.
I actually had to turn my stuff down for a second there.
And I've got everything pre-turned down too, so I don't know.
What's up?
What's up? Happy Halloween.
Happy
We got the
Halloween.
cutest first person on the cast here, and Charles.
Cutest returning member or recurring member.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Good, thank you.
Shy today.
Yeah,
Cappy's-
she's just waking up.
Cappy scares toddlers.
Yeah, she's just waking up.
Oh,
No.
gotcha. What do you have in the background there, Charles? That's a game, right?
Yeah, that's Mega Man.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I had the Retro Pie on today. I
I
just need
still have
to,
to build one.
Yeah, RetroPie is pretty awesome.
yeah, I had to. I just had to take a break. Yeah, Windows whipped my butt today for red teaming. Holy crap! A lot of stuff I need to learn, gentlemen. Yeah,
Yep, you and me both.
but I signed up for this, and I'm not gonna quit. Ow, that's what I do. Hey.
I hack into you.
Look at me! Look at you!
Now everybody's looking at you because I leaked it.
Oh, that's why I drink all the booze. Hack all,
Hack all
the
the
things.
things.
Hey!
I think half of at least 12 hours of development and reverse engineering for Dalek can be attributed to dual core at this point.
Right?
Oh my gosh. It's bad. It's really bad.
Ah.
Nice.
Hey, John,
What's up?
how you doing, man?
Same old shit. Some stuff we'll talk about offline, but
Yeah.
I'm doing basically okay.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I gotta check on my brother, man.
Sweet.
Hey, I got a project for somebody. Whenever they decide they want to tackle it, if I don't first, I want to be able to have a scriptlet, so a .sct, run Mimikatz. Haven't found anybody that's
cool.
done it yet. Yeah, I haven't found anybody who's done it, because then you could call it from Red Server 32 with the scriptlet object DLL and be able to, pull it straight down from URL, execute it, all that fun stuff. So,
Hey, Israel, I got another
Hey, what?
idea.
what is it?
Windows is adopting Docker to
Yes.
replace Hyper-V.
Yep.
Yeah.
I read about it.
And Windows containers are now becoming a thing. I've actually seen them in prod.
Yeah, but what year are we
so,
expecting that? Like 2021?
I think it was in the next year, but I don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Soon enough, like within
Okay.
next couple of patches here. Whatever major update that they're gonna have, it will probably be in that. But yeah, what you could also do is have Mimikatz run inside of a Windows container with privileged capabilities. Just you could even just mount the
That
hard
would be
drive to
so
it, and then
fun.
it would just I have to look a little bit more into what Mimikatz is actually looking at and
Yeah.
actually grabbing, because if you just mount the host drive, well, I mean, if you just give it TAC privilege and it's on a Windows system it should be able to go towards those same paths if it mounts the hard drive to it.
Yeah, and I don't know anybody who's messed around with it yet, but there is credential. What is the newer thing within Windows 10 Enterprise? Crap, I'm trying to think of what
She's trying to help.
I know, and I definitely appreciate that.
It's like ball.
We're talking like Windows 2019.
Yeah, Windows 10 2019 side.
Windows 2019.
Credential Guard.
No, Credential Guard, yeah.
Yeah, so what they're starting to do with Credential Guard is actually take portions of memory instead of having the direct user and hash. And patched Windows 10, non-patched is still user and clear text pass, but they're taking Credential Guard and taking that hash and putting key values against it. So there's still the possibility then of extracting those keys out of memory, extracting the value that you get for the hash out of memory and then, reversing it that way too, potentially. I haven't seen any write-ups on it yet, but I just started looking into it in the last couple of days.
Yeah, just for later. I just found one that I'll DM you.
Nice. But that definitely looks interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're trying. But too, they're only doing it at the enterprise level and not like professional or anything, or especially home.
Machine this hash can use this. Sorry, I just got sucked into this now. So
yeah, because I just recently started looking into it a little bit. So
yeah, this one goes through like what I guess is mitigating Mimikatz.
Yeah, or any other method of doing an LSAS dump, and hitting the Vault CLI and all that fun things.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. But obviously post exploit.
And yes, Adrian uses the penguin avatar, the big muscular, been roided up for the last 10 years penguin avatar. So how's everybody's week been? Actually, 2 weeks since we were off last week. Yeah. So how's the last couple weeks been? Who we got? Frank, I think. How are you doing, Frank?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Hey, Frank.
Hey.
What's up?
What's
Frankie?
up?
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
you guys got to send me a link to the headsets that you're wearing. I'm looking on Amazon, and they all have shit reviews. So I want to find a nice headset to
I had a set of one from Playtronics that was pretty good. Right now, I'm just using the built-in microphone on my MacBook.
Yeah, I'm using the built-in microphone right now on my Dell laptop, but I do have some earbuds that sometimes I use as well too. So if you got earbuds, I mean, those are good if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on headphones and stuff like that.
If you don't want to explain things to your daughter early.
Yeah, so Charles is the fellow gister on here. I was trying to figure out who that was up there.
Yeah, that's me.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But Vsauce DC, I really had a good time. Here's the thing. It's just tough when all the cons are all at one time. I wish they were kind of spread out a little bit,
It's hard to find a time when, someone's not having something.
Yeah, because with GurCon, that looks. How many made it to GurCon?
I honestly don't know what the number count was.
Yeah, we had at Vsauce DC, we had 2,043 people.
Wow.
Yeah, at
that's
DC.
Quite a few.
That's a lot for B-sides.
Yeah,
that was huge.
Biggest.
Yeah,
maybe the biggest. I don't know because I want to say that last time I was ever at B-sides Las Vegas, I want to say it was capping out about 2,000.
Yeah, and the cool I was actually volunteer. I was volunteer for Vsauce DC this year, and it was pretty cool. I was a runner, so I had bunny ears on one, and then
were they pink?
They were pink.
Did you wear the fishnets?
No, they weren't fishnet. The picture's up on Vsauce DC's Twitter page, so you see me sitting in the front.
So you were wearing fishnets and high heels.
I was wearing bunny ears.
A nice cute little bunny tail.
Yeah, you can see the proof. I was wearing bunny ears, but
DC.
but it was.
Give me a second. I will find this.
He's looking it up because you can look at the page. He sees it.
I saw the banner pic and I just see bunny ears in the back and I'm like, that's probably Charles.
Yeah, that's me. That's me in the front.
Okay, Cappy, time to share that screen. I mean,
hang on.
But yeah,
I mean, you wear it. It's out there on the public, so we're just.
I love it. Hey.
Yes.
But no, it was a good experience. My whole team was there too. All the Spider Labs, we were out there, and we had a good time. Met with a lot of different people. I met with shout out to Understudy, making Blue Team sexy again. #.
Nice.
And so that was pretty cool. A lot of stuff still need to pick up on, like with the threat hunting side. So it's been pretty interesting. These last couple of red team engagements were very interesting. So learned a ton. A lot of reading that I've gotten into as far as like with Windows in general. Sean, Harmjoy, and several other people who will contribute to the Windows security community. It's just insanely awesome. Yes, that is me.
Found you. That took me a second.
Yeah. But they fit perfectly though. But
why are yours? Why do they seem so small compared to the others?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, that unicorn's like horn is longer than your ears. I figured. I mean,
I don't know. They were small.
Yeah, I don't know.
They had different smaller ones or whatever. They had different sizes, I think, or whatever. Or maybe I didn't adjust them correctly. But when you're a runner, you have to like make sure everything is good on the back end and run around and help out with everything. So that's why they put the bunny ears on you so they can identify you when you're helping out and stuff like that. And people can flag you down if you need help. But
so what you're saying, you got them more for the aerodynamics, of the smaller ears, so you can whip through that crowd faster.
Whip through the crowd. But I saw a lot of people that I saw at DerbyCon. That was cool, and we hugged it out and yipping and owls and I really had a good time. It always feels good to hang out with my hacker brethrens and brothernets.
Brothernets.
That's a new word, right?
That's like a raisinette.
Yeah, but that's enough rambling for me because we got plenty to cover since
we missed a week.
Yeah. So
sorry about that, but I had an appointment with ribs.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Adrian had a massive amount of tacos, so yeah, there's always going to be a backfire whenever that happens.
Yeah. Meow.
And the word of the week, kids, is explosive diarrhea. That's just one word.
That wasn't so much of a problem at GurCon, but there was that one time before B-Sides Nashville where I ate hot chickens from Prince and decided to go one down from the hottest, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, you should have gone for the hottest.
Yeah, I couldn't agree.
So let's just say you had a broken behind for a while.
Yeah, Princess doesn't fuck around as far as hot chicken is concerned. Then again, it's also like the original Nashville hot chicken.
I was about to ask you, who started the hot chicken? Was it Kentucky or Tennessee?
No, it was Tennessee.
Okay.
There was a guy, last name Prince. He was apparently, the story goes, he was a bit of a philanderer. And his wife, to get revenge on him, cooked him up some super hot chicken, and he liked it and decided to start a restaurant. I think the guy originally started it. I don't know if his kids didn't take it over or if he didn't have kids, but I think his niece still runs it.
Interesting.
So what's
cool.
Kentucky's signature dish?
Bourbon
Bourbon.
or whiskey.
In Louisville, I guess the hot brown is a certain type of open-faced sandwich they make.
Ooh, that actually sounds really good.
I need to make it back to Indianapolis. I had so much fun. The last time I've been to Indianapolis was 20. It's been a long time. It's been 20 since the Super Bowl, when they had the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah.
Indy's not too bad. So I was walking around and some dude asked me, "Hey, dude, you know where I can get some pot?" And I'm like, thinking about it, I'm like, no, I'm not local here, so I have no idea how to help you. But then I look at what I was wearing, and I was like, had this big scraggly beard, long hair, gray in my beard, wearing like a tie-dye T-shirt. I'm like, yeah, I can understand why you asked me.
Yeah, I get that you like surfboards, but just walking around downtown Indianapolis with them, yeah.
But you know what? I'm speaking of beards. I'm liking the beard look. I'm getting.
See, I told you.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. Like it's growing in. It's just my wife sometimes, so that irritates her. So I tell her, I said, just letting it grow. I'm just gonna let it grow out through the winter.
She's like, yeah, keep that chin clean. Pencil in the stash, and then I can handle it.
But all of this is just like, it's not itchy no more because it's like grown in now. So it's just kind of like,
nice.
It feels good. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it for a while. I like it. I don't know.
There you go. Then you go down to the barbershop, get it lined up, and all that.
That's
stuff.
what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, I get it lined up, but I said don't cut anything down. Just like leave it alone. Just let it grow. Yeah. Don't cut anything down. Just line it up, and that's it.
That's right.
And the barber's like, "Oh, okay, cool, man." He said, "Oh, you embracing the beard. You want to be the baby face bandit all the time now."
The baby bandit. Now you'll be the bearded bandit.
Yeah, because I came in with the BSD Bandit T-shirt one day, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna start calling you the Babyface Bandit. Because every time you come in here, you just want a clean face." And he said, "How old are you, dog?" I said, "I'm 39." He said, "No damn way you 39." I said, "Trust me, I'm 39. Trust me, I am that." He's like, "Oh, okay, could have fooled me." But anyway, we'll let you start off the beard. Go ahead. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, he gives me crap now. He's like he's gonna say the bearded bandit next time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so
get there. Cool.
My story, not sticking to it.
Cappy, how was your week?
Last 2 weeks have been pretty good in terms of what I've been doing in my free time. Work's been pretty good. There's some stuff that I'll talk about off cast, but yeah, it's going pretty well. And actually, big news, actually. I hit my 1 year mark at this company.
Holy crap, it's already been a year?
Yep, it was 1 year Monday.
You just graduated middle school like 6 months ago, I thought.
Yeah, no? This is what happens when you're a genius and also like 6'4". People just believe you. It's
awesome. I forgot you changed your name from Doogie Howser. And for anybody under like 35 right now, if you don't understand that reference, I'm sorry.
Good thing is I don't either.
You suck.
I'm also under 35.
That's okay. Yeah.
So you just apologize to me.
Hey, that's the one you get per year.
Right. My one apology per year.
That's okay, Cap. Some people still find it weird that I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So okay.
But with that, I also got promoted. Yay.
Sweet. Oh, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Very nice.
So
yes, congratulations, man. Super ad for you. Yep. Congrats on that cash.
Very nice. And Darren, did we hit you yet?
No, you haven't. But my week's been absolutely fucking slammed. Work has been. Well, I mean, it's true. Work's been getting really hard on me. A lot of shit just kind of released all at once last week, so that's been keeping me really busy during the day. And my side business actually just started last week, so I officially opened for business this day.
Awesome.
So that's running now.
Very nice.
But no sales yet, but that will change very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you'd want to get some stock in, test the stock out, and some things like that.
Yeah. I've been opening accounts with distributors, and some of them are pretty good, some of them haven't. I actually just got Lipsy's back with me earlier today, so I have an account with them finally. but
Sweet.
several of them won't work with you unless you have an actual brick and mortar store. So
okay.
yeah. So
Interesting.
oh well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, do well with what you have.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Last up, I had a pretty good week, or 2 weeks. Last week was Wild West Hacking Fest, which conference always awesome. Again, getting there and getting back home, but the conference was awesome. This year, I know quite a few local people there now. The Rapid City, South Dakota, just general area who can actually give information on good places to eat. So I will revert my 2 weeks ago rant on the atrocious food in Deadwood. Now, a lot of it still is bad, but there are very good places that you can find. Just make sure you talk to people there who can lead you in the right direction. So,
Hey, I have a question with the it says South Dakota. What's their signature dish? I'm trying to get a list of what they're known for.
where's my phone? I will tell you exactly what South Dakota is known for because it was the one good thing I ate last year and made sure this year I was going to get the name of that stuff.
Yeah.
Chislic.
Chislic. What is that?
Oh yeah.
Yes. CHISLIC. That is cube steak that is fried and then seasoned and then usually some type of specialized dipping sauce. Freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like that.
And that is what they are known for.
Oh.
And like I said, last year, that was the only good thing I ate. And I went back this year, like, I'm going to eat that again, whatever in the hell it was called. And it was one of the first things I did once I saw somebody I knew. Find out what that crap was called.
Hey, guys, I will be right back. I'm going to go grab me some pho. I'm in that mode today. It's nice and rainy and cold.
Hey, pho show.
Get some of that.
Actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
Chislic is mutton.
It can be mutton. Like the traditional was mutton, but the more recent stuff is beef that most places serve. There are some places apparently that serve the traditional, which I have not had, but yeah, most places do steak. But yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, I googled it. The pictures look pretty damn good.
Yeah, and if Jack was on, Jack would say, we would say, Jack, how was your last couple of weeks? And he'd say, I'm good. So there you go. Since we're missing Jack and he's just sitting over in YouTube land because, he's probably playing a video game.
He'd be like, I'm good, dog.
That's right.
I'm good.
It's okay. We're here this time.
Nice.
Hi.
So
How was the week?
It's not like Charles where we ask, if he needs a cigarette, dog.
Yeah, that's the story for today.
I don't think that story is ever being told on cast.
Not live.
Not live.
No,
not live.
Okay,
Oh,
I need
man.
to get a beverage. So, Capico, you want to get into your announcements?
Yeah, I
Cool.
will go ahead and do that. So, announcements. I have two. If you are a student at Kansas University and know where the Edwards campus is and also where the engineering and research building is, I will be there this Friday doing a talk in one of the rooms there for the information security group that's there. And yeah, so I will be doing one of my talks there this Friday, and I believe it's at 5. So show up if you're around. Always good. Secondly, if you know already, but I've been working on a tool that's been using Shodan, and I'm broadening the scope a little bit for a beta release to make it a little more generalized for external penetration test and discovery use. So in the show notes, which is linked in the description of the YouTube video, it's the first link there. I've got a couple of things that are planned that are going to be implemented here in the next coming months, hopefully by the end of the year. And then a beta will be launched, and I'll probably do a talk on it to showcase how to use it and also how I've been using it while developing it and all of that fun stuff and stuff that I want to have community help with because I don't want to write all the things.
Nice.
But yeah, so those are my 2 quick announcements. Anyone else have any announcements? Adrian, you going to any more cons for the rest of the year, or are you donezo?
Yeah, well, on the let me make sure I have the date right. I already have the plane tickets and such. On the 9th, I'm going to have B-Sides Connecticut that I'm going to go to.
Ooh,
I'm going to record that. Also getting shit about the GoCon recordings because apparently one is out of sync audio, and no one, there was some other audio things he once done to it. He said, it's not that hard to learn. I'm like, fuck you, go do it yourself. I mean, I'll try to improve the shit, but
I can resync the audio, Adrian. I've done it for you before. Just let me know which one.
I think I know which one it is.
Yeah,
I was watching them as you were putting them out.
Yeah, you can send me whichever file that is. I can fix that for you. That's not a big deal.
So I'm going to Ponyville Cider Fest leaving tomorrow.
Cider Fest. That doesn't sound infosec-y at all.
It's not.
Let's point people in InfoSec at Homebrew. It could be
yeah. But not like infosec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like going off topic sometimes.
Hey, I mean, that's cool. I mean, if you can bring it back, and then I will teach us the new ways that you found of making cider. I will probably use them on a pen test. Here, try this new homebrew cider. Here's a USB stick free of charge for my cider brand.
You didn't hear it. It's Ponyville Cider Fest. It's a My Little Pony convention with alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
Because those never go bad.
No, I definitely heard that. Say hi to Rainbow Dash and Applejack because that's going to be great.
I can smell it from here.
It smells of BO and alcohol.
Yeah, it does not smell like cider.
Just BO and spilt stale alcohol.
Wait, what smells like that?
the convention that Trez is going to.
Oh.
That's interesting.
But on another subject, I'm going to B-Sides DFW here on Saturday. So I'll be out for that.
Have fun. Best of luck avoiding the crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know who I am, really, so works for me.
I
You're
know
that
who you are.
atheist guy, right?
What?
You're that atheist guy. His avatar, never mind.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
David something. I don't remember the guy's actual name.
That's right.
He had some controversy there a while back. I saw a few interviews of him.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's no longer letting people say that he forced that girl into sex. He's standing up for what he claims he did.
So he's no longer excommunicated from atheism?
I think the community's starting to welcome him back because he's been giving some talks at conferences again, and he wrote a book. So he's trying to get away from that whole thing about when he was the president of the Atheist Association, and they shunned him because he had sex with like 2 staffers, and it was some bondage stuff, and not good shit.
There you go. Okay, we want to get into some show notes.
All right, show notes. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, thanks for filling out a whole lot of those, man.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, we didn't use them last week.
Yeah, a lot of shit's happened, so I mean, it's like just gotta cover it all, I guess.
But
Yeah, we'll cover some, maybe not all.
Cover everything.
Yeah, and before we hit the show notes, in regard to the breach report, don't know if this is a breach or not, but Bank of America, all services were down for about a 2 to 3 hour time frame about 24 hours ago. They haven't publicly, at least that I could find, said anything yet. I mean, ATMs, mobile, website, every freaking thing down. and they have disclosed nothing as of yet. So that's why we don't know if it was a breach or anything else. But yeah, they were down, hard and heavy, and probably lost a shit ton of money in the process. Okay, now hitting the show notes. You want to hit this one, Frank?
All right, so TourGuard and NordVPN breaches, and there's not only those two, but there's a third VPN that was breached. This was pretty cool. So somebody found an exposed iDRAC, and they hacked. This is not the same article that says that, but it's the same case. Somebody got in via the iDRAC and grabbed the key for, I think that was TourGuard, and then somebody also grabbed the private key for NordVPN, and there's this third one, Viking VPN, that was also hit. And despite the guy was essentially bragging on 8chan that he did this, and he hasn't gotten caught, but they now know that he actually did break into these things, and for some reason decided to brag about it on 8chan, and they've changed their key, obviously, all three of them, and they're all downplaying the attack, saying that it's not that big a deal because even if they have our key, they can't really do much with it. They could maybe set up their own server and install the key, but then they'd have to get our clients to download a new client, VPN client to their machine, and it's not a practical attack. So they're downplaying that. There's really nothing they can do with it.
Yeah, did it actually say like any of the thought of how he got the key or where the key was stored? I mean, because we're talking the TLS key, like your transport layer, obviously, and like that's not an easy thing to come by, unless they were just morons and had it stored out on like a Git somewhere.
Vulnerable S3 bucket or anything like that.
He pulled it off the actual server itself. They might have not deleted it after installing it. They might have just left it sitting in a directory, and he was able to grab it.
And you know, anybody listening, like we are all fans of VPN. I'm not a big fan of these commercialized VPN products, but you know, I do like using my own stack and everything. But still, I mean, and VPN is a good thing. Just there's still some poor security practices put into place almost everywhere.
Yeah. Well, so the guy who wrote the article reached out to TourGuard VPN to see if the attacker could have like observed traffic when he was connected, and they said it's not possible because the company uses public key infrastructure management to protect its encryption keys. But he has the key, so it's like what? Anyway.
Yeah, obviously your PKI wasn't good enough at this point, so fun. Okay, next up, Avast.
So
another
this was
VPN.
Jeez.
Yeah, so Avast got owned. Well, not really Avast. Avast bought CCleaner, and CCleaner got owned, but they're like a subsidiary of Avast, so they got anyway. So this is the second time this has happened in recent memory, right? So last time in 2017, that guy he uploaded a Trojanized version of CCleaner, and a bunch of people downloaded it, and he managed to sign it with their valid certificate. So it was a big deal. This.
I mean, it's just funny, you know, because they quote Kevin in here, and you know, Kevin was like incredibly transparent. Yes, which is fully true. It's good they were transparent, but the attacker basically cloned their Active Directory.
Yeah,
and had access from at least May. It's like, holy crap.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's one of two on the list for the breach report that I know that has been done this week. We're within 2 weeks. Holy, okay.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh. And two, you gotta remember, most of these are antivirus. Whenever it comes to Avast, and I'm sure they have Avast on a lot of their systems. And we're only talking probably antivirus. They potentially don't have EDR. Maybe they're working on it, but actually looking for actual indicators of compromise as opposed to hashes and signatures that researchers have found, identified, or has gone through some automated solution out there. Yeah, like everybody needs to start upping their game. Anybody got anything else on the Avast front?
That's pretty much all I got for that. It's pretty hilarious they were in there that long. I mean, it's a security company and they got owned, so it's just it's sad.
And two, they're one of the big ones for like the freebie offerings for like home users, right?
Right. Yeah. So that is a wide range area, large data set in terms of just users in general that are using Avast.
Yeah. Yep. Which, I mean, that could become big payoffs too if somebody is successful in, like with NoPayda, Russia went in, modified the updater for the accounting software that was required in the Ukraine. If somebody was, and similar to how CCleaner was attacked a year or so ago, if somebody can go in, modify that, send an update down, and how many Avast home users are there? Probably 40 million, 30, 40 million, somewhere in that range.
Can you count the amount of Windows PCs that are in a household and then multiply that by how many households there are?
Yeah, but not everybody has Avast, but you're still going to have a ton out there who do. And being able to get whatever payload you want potentially onto any of those endpoints. That's a major surface to be able to breach. Okay, next up.
Thousands warned over Homegroup data breach. So this is in the UK, and Homegroup is one of the biggest housing associations there. And about 4,000 customers' records and personal details may have been stolen. They don't know anybody actually stole them, but they know that they were available online for anybody to see because a security researcher notified them that he was able to access this stuff. And then they were able to go and fix it within 90 minutes, they claim. So, but God knows how long that stuff was actually exposed and who could have downloaded it. So it's another issue of poor security. It was probably something on the web server that, was accessible that shouldn't have been.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. So that's all for that one.
Cool. What do we got next?
The Montana. Yeah. 130,000 patient data records in a data breach. That's a lot of data. So they started notifying people on October 23rd that their information may have been exposed due to a phishing attack. The health system discovered in June that several employees had provided their credentials to an unauthorized third party. Upon investigation, KRH determined the hacker may have been able to access the data as early as May. So they got phished. And in the other article that we have on this same thing, they actually had a quote from their senior security guy. And he said something along the lines of, this was an advanced persistent threat. This is not something that normally would be encountered. And just trying to make it sound like this was an awesome hack that was really hard for the attacker to do, when meanwhile it was just somebody phishing. So,
so advanced. I mean, phishing in and of itself is not an advanced technique. That is one of the oldest, easiest techniques. Now, what you do once you get somebody to click on the payload, that becomes advanced. But so advanced.
Welcome to what I call in the industry CYA, or cover your ass.
Oh, that's what CYA is. Oh, man. Interesting.
I thought it just meant CIA for forever, and then I got into InfoSec. Yeah, I mean, it's thrown around everywhere.
Yeah, I used to say buy it, and then I thought the cool term was CIA. But cover your ass, huh? That's amazing. Mm-hmm. The things that, 14-year-olds teach me every day is amazing.
Just wait until later.
That sounds so bad. Anybody who's listening for the first time, I refer to Caprico as a 14-year-old.
Yeah,
No
I
other
am
14-year-old.
not.
He is the only 14-year-old that I have interactions with. So
The one,
Why don't you take a seat over there?
the one, the only.
yes.
Oh boy. And welcome to the part of the show where we ring the demonetization bell.
Yes. Well, it just got weird. Okay.
Oh boy. Next.
North Carolina health system alerts its customers to data breach. This one's fun. They've been breached for 3 years. Didn't know it. Somebody hacked their website, and anytime somebody submitted data to it, they were getting a copy of it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wow. At very minimum, they need to get a SIM in place at minimum. Figure out how to configure it correctly, get the appropriate use cases in, then actually start monitoring it. Because damn, 3 freaking years.
That's a long time.
Did nobody even go in and update code during that time? I mean,
It's a hospital, so probably not. I mean, generally.
Oh dear Lord, how much are they getting hit on for HIPAA violations?
They're gonna get hit.
That's gonna be that's bad.
Well, they're claiming that names, addresses, and payment card information were compromised, but no medical records were involved.
Oh, okay.
So we're good by HIPAA.
Yeah. So now we move to PCI.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the other thing, though. If it's PCI, that means you're getting credit cards, companies involved, which usually is going to end up with super heavy fines, regardless. Not the same as HIPAA, but
because HIPAA you can face jail time for that kind of shit.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah.
My concern is if any of that billing information has their name and what they did, that's still considered a HIPAA violation, I'm pretty sure.
That could be the case, but I'm not seeing anything in the article.
They're saying it's their e-commerce site that was breached. So it wasn't like their regular website for customer stuff. This was a site selling shit. So
okay. Weirdness.
Oh yeah, but fun.
Either way, this sounds like a small enough hospital that those PCI fines might put them out of business.
Yeah.
So, which sucks because this sounds like a rural hospital.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're talking health system, that's usually a larger scale normally a larger scale hospital within a geographic region who's acquired a lot of other smaller hospitals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll actually try to see if I can find them here, though.
Yeah, so the Mission Health in North Carolina. Clacky, clack, 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 clack.
My keyboard is not nearly... Oh, they have very, very poor... Well, a 3 out of 5 Yelp reviews. That sucks.
2.9 on Google's.
Oh, so close. Yelp rounds up.
Yeah, if you give them money, you get a 4.0.
Yeah. Okay, locations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we'll take one off. 9. One was virtual care, so 9 different locations, it looks like. So, I mean, not small. And if you look at their front page, that's decent. I mean, not Ohio State, medical center or nothing, but it's still very sizable.
Ain't no Mayo Clinic.
True that.
You want to play that game? No, I'm kidding.
That would be
dumbass, Beavis.
No, that was a Major Dad reference. Thank you, and that was also created 1,000 years before your time.
Which one of us are you talking to?
I don't know.
You.
You again. Who are you talking to?
Caprico.
Got it.
Yeah, Frank's not as young as you, so
I'm an old fart.
I don't play the old card or the young card with him. Okay, next up, Johannesburg.
Oh, we skipped one. Thousands potentially affected by Pine County data breach.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So this one's great. Their payroll person got phished, and somebody was in their system for a little while and had access to 4,400 records of county employees, including names, addresses, birthday, social security number, medical and health information, health insurance information, financial account numbers, mother's maiden names, state and government identification numbers. That's a lot of data. I don't know why an employer would need that much data about their guys, but
this is a government office, right?
yeah.
I can tell you right now, Minnesota definitely does all of that stuff. Hang on, I'm making it a little bigger because apparently they don't know how to do responsive web pages either. Where was that data? Names, address, birth, social numbers, medical and or health information, insurance, financial account number, or mother's name. Okay. So the county has to have all this information because in Minnesota we have state-sponsored healthcare, so MNsure. So the counties handle that, which is why they would have the health information, the medical health information, and the insurance information, as well as any financial account numbers, because all payments go through them to the state, which then, or the state insurance fund, which is run by the state. Therefore, counties go county, state, all that stuff. The mother's maiden name thing, I don't get. But government identification number, they would also need to have that for if they're trying to implement Real ID in Minnesota as well. So I think that's what they're trying to do there. I don't know. Regardless, really bad, but explaining why they have.
Wait, do they also ask like what the patient's first animal was and the name of the animal and the street that they grew up on? And
yeah, we're talking about Minnesota, awesome, so yeah. they probably did. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that question for
who was your best friend growing up?
Yeah.
Why do I need this on my intake form, Mr. Hospital? Don't worry, it's a government thing.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The titular phrase of any government. Okay, anyway, moving on.
So, moving on. The city of Johannesburg is being held ransom by a hacker gang. This is
hilarious.
This is not a case of ransomware, like one would think. They're actually just asking. They hacked them, and they took a whole shit ton of their data, and they sent them proof that they have this data, and they said, we will release all of it to the public unless you give us 4 Bitcoin, or about 30 grand, I think. And the authorities there seem to think that this was actually the work of an employee or a former employee. They have no proof of this. And on all the machines in the network, they seem to have been able to modify some stuff as a domain administrator. And you know that login message you get that you can change as a DA? They modified the login message on every single machine saying your city's been hacked. Welcome to Joburg City. Here are the shadow hackers speaking, the shadow kill hackers speaking. All of your servers and data have been hacked. We have dozens of backdoors inside your city. We have control of everything in your city. We can shut everything off with a button. We compromised all your passwords and sensitive data, such as finance and personal information. Your city must pay us 4.0 Bitcoins, and this is a very small amount of money, to the following address. Until October 28th, so that's 2 days ago, your time. If you don't pay on time, we will upload the whole data available to anyone on the internet. If you do pay on time, we will destroy the data we have and send your IT a full report about how we hack their systems. And your I wonder if they actually really wrote a report. Like, this is how we hack you. It's like a pen test report, but
but you're being extorted.
Yeah, but crap.
Great.
You know, the one thing I really like the most is that their email address is there, shadowkill@titanota.com. I mean, that would be one of the most enjoyable trolls, most likely ever. You know, Johannesburg, whatever, at gmail.com. And, you know, we decide we actually are interested, but, you know, and just start having 100 different messages back and forth with them. Just troll the shit out of them.
That'd be great. So it's been 2 days now since their deadline has passed, and according to this article, they have not paid. So nothing seems to have happened yet. Maybe they're just still uploading data to like Megastore or something.
Yeah, and I actually did go to Johannesburg, whatever, however you pronounce it, Twitter. They did say and had like a public whatever that they are not going to be paying. By the end of this week, there will be 80% restored. So I think there was some form of ransomware, or at least drive-based locking, because you can get a similar type of message if you just throw a password on the entire drive. So yeah, even though it wasn't traditional ransomware full disk encryption, you know, I think they did have some type, because the city services were down, and they have those. They said, like I said, they'll be 80% restored by the end of this week. So they are making progress. But yeah, it's just the real messed up and back-assward way of doing it.
So apparently there are more attacks that happened, and the Shadowkill hackers are claiming via their Twitter account that they are not the ones who did these unrelated attacks, which was essentially on the same day. Local media said several of the banks were hit by cyber attacks and were down. They're like, nope, not us. We're different bad guys.
Yeah, and it is kind of unfortunate. The actual Shadowkill hackers Twitter account was taken down, so you can't really follow anything on there. But you can, you know, check out Archive and some of the other locations that have that index that data.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So that's that one. I like that one. That's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah.
The fact that they posted the DC.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes. Next up, we had Bed Bath & Beyond breach disclosed. So,
I even put this one here.
Yeah, I threw this one on here. So Bed Bath & Beyond has finally disclosed that they discovered that a third-party acquired mail and password info from a source outside of the company's systems, which was used to access less than 1% of the company's online customer accounts. On October 29th, yesterday, the company sent notifications to certain customers as required by applicable legal requirements. None of the company's online customers' payment cards were compromised as a result of this incident. Since becoming aware of the incident, the company retained a leading security forensics firm and has implemented remedial measures. Due to the limited nature of the security incident and the company's cyber incident insurance coverage, the company does not expect this security incident to have a material adverse effect on its results of operation, cash flows, or financial condition for any fiscal period. And this is the only reporting that I found that they did. They may have something that I missed, but this was filed with the Security Exchange, with the SEC. So, yeah, as a disclosure for financial purposes, not necessarily for the benefit of those who may have been impacted. But they did contact some people. But yeah, so there's been some misdeedings with Bed Bath & Beyond. If I were to venture a guess, I would say it was probably an admin account, potentially on like a spam system, a spam server they use that is held outside the organization and still retain full, headers and message within that system. If I were to venture a guess.
Yeah, they could also be in the middle of an investigation right now, and they're just filing it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which could be the place. We may be having to revisit this. Or it may come up later.
But I don't want to revisit it. It's Bed Bath & Beyond. That's one of the stores that I just try to avoid like a plague.
But you don't want to go Bed Bath & Beyond again?
Listen,
I mean,
if you're in a relationship or married, this is your store. I don't care what you say. I don't care how tough everybody want to be. When the wife said, "Hey, let's make a quick stop to Bed Bath & Beyond," you ain't going. In your mind, you're kicking and screaming, but your mouth is saying, "Yes, dear."
I don't go. I don't go because they're so damn overpriced. So we usually just hit up something more sensible.
Yes, it's very expensive.
It's really expensive.
Would you like to spend $19 on a candle?
Would you like to spend $30
No, fuck
on a
that
towel?
shit. I'm gonna make my own damn candle. I'll go murder a goddamn cow, and I will go render the beef tallow to make my own damn.
Now, I will spend $19 on a candle if it's gonna make my wife happy, which will make me happy. Yes. Yeah, I will do that.
Make me happy. Bring me more sheep.
Oh wait, Charles, did I just hear you say that you are now planning child number 2? Is that what I'm supposed to understand right now?
I didn't say that.
Congratulations!
I just said about Bed Bath & Beyond. I didn't say anything about child.
I think that's a secret code. Thank you.
Yes, we know what Bed Bath & Beyond now means. Yeah, we get that. Okay.
If a second one happens to appear, then so be it.
Oh!
Whoa, wait, whoa.
Anyway, back to the breaches.
Oh no! Right now, I think we're talking about something.
I thought we were talking about a breach. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know. We'll see. Charles is like, yeah. Oh, I want to take this so many ways, but yeah.
I know you do. I can
okay.
See your
what do we
eyebrows.
have up next?
Indian nuclear plant network.
I really want to get into the penetration testing side, but yeah, we'll keep it right here. Indian nuclear plant. Yeah, power plant. So their network was hacked. They have confirmed. It was initially suspected here about 4 or 5 days ago. Now it has been confirmed. They are attributing it to North Korea. Let's see. Whatever fun things are in here. Missions come a day after the company issued a denial. Because initially they said, yeah, we weren't hacked. And now they are saying, yes, the administrative side of their systems were infiltrated. They're attributing it to Lazarus, which is a North Korean hacking group usually associated with the government, which I don't know if it says that, but that's just common knowledge.
They're attributing it to the Lazarus group.
Yeah, to Lazarus.
La. You think they hack with Red Star OS?
Do I think what?
Jeez.
They hack using Red Star OS?
All right, if I had it, I would have started playing the Soviet national anthem, but I don't have that. As funny as that would be, but no.
It sounds like they did not have appropriate segmentation in place. So, as always, segmentation is something that needs, defenders, auditors, everybody understands you not necessarily being there now, but it needs to be on your radar. You need to be working towards it. There's a lot of solutions in the in-between times, but segmentation should always be on that roadmap, and try to be working towards it.
I'm more wondering why this button's here now. That's 7,000 people have answered.
What does it do?
Do you believe nuclear power should be an option as we move towards carbon-free energy? How is this relevant?
Wait,
But it was just left over from.
do you have a button?
It's on the bottom.
Is it a slider? Can you move
it's
it?
a slider.
Yeah. There's a yes or a no.
You know that R made your left side slant, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't touch
cool.
sliders or look at them.
Cool.
But they're yummy.
I just wonder how long it's going to be until somebody hacks a nuclear power plant and actually causes it to melt down. It's like, it's going to happen someday.
Yeah. They claim the network to be air gapped from YouTube land. Yeah, obviously not.
Yeah.
Well, air gapped. Oh, okay. So the air gap thing is in relation to Stuxnet, and Stuxnet was a physical infiltration.
Yeah.
So that is so the network was air gapped, but you could still physically go to the device, plug something in on a USB stick, which is what was done, deliver a payload, and then walk right out. Which is what was done for the Stuxnet operation.
It's like a highly advanced rubber ducky.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say it's any different from a rubber ducky. Put in a couple commands here, a couple settings there, and you're done.
Well, yes, from the functionality of a rubber ducky versus whatever they used. But more so on the actual attack and the payload and everything like that. Because whenever you're talking nuclear, you're talking very, very. It's really hard to get the diagrams and the understanding of some of these different backend systems that are driving the infrastructure, just because they are kept so guarded, and so most of the time anything nuclear related is going to be state sponsored, if not always. Just getting access to those systems, to be able to know what executables, what DLL, and we're not even talking Windows systems, but just whatever the environment looks like, and being able to try and attempt to successfully pull something off. Yeah.
Yep, and Stuxnet was 2 states. What's up, Jack?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, okay, yeah, Stuxnet was just two people, 2 countries pointing at each other. The Israelis saying it was the U.S., the U.S. saying it was Israel, and the truth is it was both of them.
Yes. Yeah. But to actually get the understanding of a nuclear infrastructure, you have to be up at that level, though, at the state level.
Not necessarily. It's just the time it's just the research time to spin up something like that, and then as well as pay off the person to say, hey, your next shift, you carry this thumb drive in, you plug it into this computer, and you walk away.
Yeah, but you're still not going to have access. You're not going to get, like an air gap system. You're not going to get a reverse shell talking out. You have to have your entire payload, everything on that drive, ready to go, ready to fully function.
That's what I'm saying. It was just basically, hey, your next shift, you plug in this thumb drive, and you walk away, and don't say anything.
Yeah, but it's not like you're going to get on Tor, get on a BitTorrent site and download schematics for a nuclear reactor and the software packages that drive it.
Right. So what happened with Stuxnet, and that goes a little more there. I can't remember who it was that went in a little more in depth on this. But it was a confidential informant of the CIA that worked at went and got a job at what was it, Iran's nuclear facility?
Yeah.
Yeah, got in there, got a job there. He then sent plans for the refining contraptions that they had. So, and they're these big bowls, essentially, that have to vibrate at a certain frequency or like jostle at a certain frequency. And if they do that wrong or it's out of sync, it won't enrich the uranium correctly, and it'll make it into a benign element. So what Stuxnet was is they were able to grab the plans for that and put all of this research and time into what the software. I think they got this copy of the software too, and they put a certain config or whatever in their payload that would just jostle it just enough so it would look like normal operation, but then would be just enough to make it make any uranium that was in there a benign element and then crash.
So they made the centrifuge spin a little faster than it should.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not technically a centrifuge, but it's basically a really big centrifuge. And I'm just—it's
not a centrifuge, but it's a really big centrifuge.
It's like one. It's like one. I don't remember what the exact name was.
No, it's a centrifuge.
It was? Oh, great. I just look like an idiot. Granted.
Yeah. So yeah, and each one of those centrifuges got infected, and it was just spread like pretty much a worm.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
I mean, that was really bad. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, we got some vulnerability of the week. What do we got, Cappy?
So this came on my radar today, and yesterday. Yeah, not so hot off the presses, but I actually first saw this in a different article, but I've linked both of them there. So a PHP bug allows remote code execution on Nginx servers, and it's these two in combo that is the issue. So a buffer overflow bug in PHP could allow remote code execution on targeted Nginx servers. First discovered by H. Coram, Capture the Flag competition in September. The bug is CVE 2019-11043 that exists in the fast CGI directive used in some PHP implementations on Nginx. So it's not all of them, but it's on some. So PHP powers about 30% of modern websites, yada, yada, yada. Nginx is pretty much a household name, and at least in the web dev and developer world. But essentially what this is, and I have in the show notes the posted attack and POC so that you guys can reproduce this as well. I couldn't get it all set up and ready to go before the show. I did try though. Yeah. Apparently Go is not the easiest thing to install, and then it wouldn't build, and it was I was done, and then it was like it was nearly 7, so I was like, screw it, I'm not getting this done.
You could get Go within a Docker container that was 50 revisions ago and has every bug in it known to man. Like, you couldn't just.
I'll explain that later. But essentially, what it's attacking, and the guy that posted the POC here, he actually goes in a little into detail on what's actually vulnerable, and he shows what's actually going on. So since it's a CGI thing, that's CGI usually is handled within the tool or within the URL that's sent to a web server. So within the URL, if you just give it a benign parameter at this point, at least it's how he's explained it here and what was explained to me in the Naked Security article that is also posted there as the second source in the show notes. If you just give a benign parameter or a parameter that is known, it'll actually reset a known parameter, or it will just add that parameter to a PHP file. And that is then reflected then. So what you can do is you can tell it, if we go back into parameter or PHP, attack.go, you can actually see some of the things that are being exploited here. So it's looking to append short open tag HTML errors, include path temp, auto prepend file, extension, dir, all this other stuff. So what it does is it appends this to the end of a URL as shown right here. And so it's equivalent to you just putting in like A equals whatever, and then your stuff is executed there. So this one would just show the ID, and you'll actually see the Nginx server come back with the ID there, as well as anything else that you put there. So it's just straight code execution via parameter
Sweet
pollution. Yeah. So
yeah, that's very nice.
Links to both of the articles are in the show notes, as well as a link to this POC and all that fun stuff. The guy did make a Docker container to go put that there. Please run that inside of a lab environment and don't put it on the host network. Please, while you're doing that, don't put it out on the external net because you will get hacked. Trust me.
Hacky.
Hacky.
No, put it up there. Go ahead and put it up there.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. I'm probably monitoring you.
Message Caprico and Charles directly to let you know so they can validate you threw it up there correctly.
Yeah. Definitely will help out with that. I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's vulnerability of the week. It's another web application vulnerability.
And then Charles touches it, and you come home and find your Docker containers now running BSD inside of it. You're like, what the hell?
They do have BSD containers.
They do.
Could you run a BSD jail in that BSD container?
Yeah, you could.
You could.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You can, because, again, all BSD jails is just another slice of the kernel address, just an address space. There's no different than how Solaris Zones was to Solaris. It when you patch the Solaris kernel, you also patch the Solaris zone because it had a separate address space within the kernel.
Yeah, I like kernels.
Me too. I was a kernel junkie in the early 2000s until. Yeah,
I like Chris Kringle.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, that's like Kringle, not kernel.
Yeah. I was a kernel junkie. I was a kernel junkie with Slackware, Debian, Yellow Dog, and OpenBSD at the time.
So have I been saying it wrong all these years? I've been calling it Debian, and it's actually Debian.
That's just how I talk. I mean, coming from a guy that says coffee.
It is Debian, named after the creators Deborah and Ian. Deborah Ian.
Yeah, I'm not the guy to give advice on names because I still say Vsauce.
But isn't also play on the Star Trek monster?
If somebody says, "Hey, how do I edit like a mounting like a file system?" I say, "Oh, go to the Vsauce."
I always say Debian because I'm pretty sure that the Star Trek thing is called a Debian slime dever.
We know where you're going with that.
Wow. Hey, right there.
It wasn't me.
I think that's where that green chick was.
Who was humming? Who was humming?
That was Trez, man.
He said, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I talked about this a few weeks back when I put up the top 10 vulnerabilities so far, types of vulnerabilities so far within 2019. This falls under that category as well. So people are looking a lot at kind of these not so much a simple attack, but different configurations that could be implemented for various reasons and business needs that are bad or unsecure.
So pretty much in layman's terms, and if you're a Lil Wayne fan, the block is hot, so be careful.
Mm-hmm. Or for you older guys out there, the iron is still hot.
Ooh.
Yeah, I come home every night and I get branded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's move on to some more vulnerable stuff.
Yeah.
More vulnerable stuff. So, security researchers expose new Alexa and Google Home vulnerability. So this is pretty neat. So this is not like they took it apart and did a hardware hack. This is something else. They figured out with the apps that you can kind of install on like Alexa, where you go, Alexa, tell me the time in Beijing or some shit like that. It gives you like you can have an app that does shit that's not built into it, and they found that they could get the app to listen in longer than it's supposed to, and then spit out things and get responses that it shouldn't. So it's like you think the app has stopped listening, and now that app is still in control of the Alexa, and it's listening for whatever the hell you're saying. And then maybe a minute later, it pops up and gives a question for a password. It's like, can you please tell me your password? And people are dumb, and they will say, yeah, my password is Apple22. And it will say, thank you, and pass that information on to the people who wrote it. It's more of a proof of concept type thing. And the way it's doing this this extra listening time is they're essentially they're giving it characters that it can't pronounce, and it is just spitting out stuff that is not being actually said. So it's listening during that time, and it can take an input that it shouldn't be able to get. Either way, both of them can are susceptible to this, and it's pretty neat. It's not hack of the week neat, but it's still neat.
Yeah, and
everything on this list could be put into a hack of the week thing. Some of them might just find that.
And one thing to remember with this too, as like with the skills on Alexa, you can't remotely install those skills, or at least an attacker can't remotely. They have to actually get you somehow to install that skill onto Alexa, onto Google Home, to be able to pull any of these off. So if you do have Alexa or anything else, only get the things from the approved stores. I have an Alexa in the house. It's segmented. All my IoT stuff is on their own VLAN, isolated from everything else, just like my vulnerable network is on its own VLAN, separated from everything else. And still just be very cautious of what you put on it. We put nothing on ours. All it does is plays music. So yeah, always be very conscious about what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's the old joke about the 1960s. Oh, I better not say on the phone. You don't know who's listening. Now, hey, wiretap device, play Metallica for me. It's like, yeah, okay.
Sure thing, George.
And what you could do is, if it's annoying to turn your Alexa off or unplug it, you could have a smart plug that only Alexa talks to, and tell Alexa turn off the smart plug that Alexa's plugged into. That could be fun.
There was I scared the crap out of my parents. They just bought a smart lock and an Alexa, and my parents hooked them up together, and my dad was like, watch this. And he says, Alexa, lock the door. And then it locked the door. And I'm like, okay, cool. Unlocks door, locks it again manually, goes to the window where the echo was. Alexa, unlock the door. It didn't do anything, but it scared the crap out of my dad.
That is awesome.
I'm like, he was like, yeah, they were smart enough to do that. I'm like, someone did it. That's why they know.
We're gonna have a prayer session and cast all the demons out of this electronic stuff here now.
Oh man, that would have been. I was like so wanting that to just unlock, but I scared the crap out of them anyway.
I like it.
And that's why I don't have IoT devices on my network.
Yep, same here. Unless the Raspberry Pi counts, but.
Hey, Jack, do you have any type of a gaming system on your network?
It's not on the network that I'm on now, but it's on a separate network.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I mean, because it's still IoT.
Not really, because I'm getting entertainment off of that. Whereas
I get entertainment off of Alexa.
Well, I mean, whereas Alexa doesn't. I don't stand the risk of getting my my pleasure time being recorded.
So you no Internet of Things on your fleshlight?
No.
No, he's not saying what he has on there.
However, on the note of flashlights, there is a talk that is on YouTube at SecKC's YouTube channel where someone actually did research on flashlights and found a way to hack into them via Bluetooth.
Well, there's a RenderMan and them all have the whole thing on the Internet of Dongs. So, I mean, people have been studying the Internet of Things enabled sex toys for quite a while now. I remember
Internet of Dongs.
Yeah, like my first DEF CON. Yeah, I'm gonna say my first DEF CON, they were giving a Bluetooth hacking for personal vibrators. It was one of the talks. Yeah.
Yeah, Internet of Dongs and teledildonics.
Yeah,
So,
teledonics. Yeah, teledildonics.
We're entering quite a time to be alive, aren't we?
Filling all your gaping security holes.
By the way, whoever's got the Trump site thing up already, definitely don't click allow.
Oh, that's just an article.
Yeah. All right. So next up, getting away from the dong conversation, we'll talk about another dong. Oh, I mean dong. Website vulnerability left credentials exposed, including a Trump site.
Yeah, this was Larval. It's a PHP framework.
Oh, dude, I have all of this here. So go for it.
Oh, you can take it if you want.
You go ahead and explain. But my job before InfoSec was I was a Laravel developer. So
nice.
Yeah.
So they left it in debug mode, which apparently 20% of all sites using this framework are left in debug mode, which is just stupid. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they're able to access functionality they shouldn't have, and they had the ability to go in and change things if they wanted and access data they shouldn't be able to. They told the Trump team that this happened, and it took them 5 days to fix it, to turn off debug mode.
Jesus!
So
it took them 5 days. All right, hold up. Here's how you turn that off. Let me go to this real quick. GitHub.com Laravel. Should be this. Okay, here we go. Here is how you turn that off. So this is the environment variable section.
Cap, there's probably a very special way of why they did it because it's a government system. So
No,
No,
it's not.
Well,
It requires
no.
It's not a government system. It's Trump's personal
not?
campaign site.
Okay. I thought it was government. Never mind.
So the way that you turn this off, debug mode off in Laravel, app debug is set to true by default in the example config for the environment variables, and debug is set in the environment variables here. What you do is you set this to false. Like literally type false.
Wait, you mean you need to change the default configuration? Who would do such a?
Yeah. That's when I saw this. I'm like, oh god, they did the stupid. Probably what was also there. If you ever have time and you want to dork around with this, I think Google blocks these now. But a while ago, if you went to Google and dorked in URL or I think it was in URL .env, you would actually get database passwords because that's where Laravel apps store the password, username, and passwords for databases, and also where they are, because you can have external databases in that file that it will call out to in the application as well.
That is awesome.
And the roughly 20% of sites that are Laravel applications that are running debug mode, that I can see being the case. There was also back like 2 years ago when I was still active on Laravel forums for developers. There was one guy who left debug mode on, and someone grabbed did a session hijack on him and ended up just changing doing a old school defacement of his site because there was nothing there. It was really funny.
I miss defacements of sites. I mean, now like nobody does it anymore. That used to be fun.
This isn't actually
was
like
the
the
cool
worst
thing
thing.
to do.
It was like 15 years ago. It was fun.
This isn't actually the worst thing that I've seen happen to Laravel or the Laravel framework in general. 2 years ago now, they had a CVE come up that was in version. Oh dear God. It was in version 5.2 of Laravel, and it was you could send a crafted request to the default forgot username or forgot whatever to recover passwords, and it would actually not take an email, and you could just give it whatever, and you could brute force it, and you would have it send back to your custom email address of whatever account you wanted.
Nice.
It was
pretty
bad.
clever.
They patched, Taylor patched it pretty quickly. He got on that like immediately, and that was before he had like 20 or 30 people working for him as he does now. That was back when it was like 4 of them that were working on it.
Huh. Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah, I think that was 2016. Sorry, so 3 years ago now.
Yes, and as Repent said, don't forget to lick the video. I mean, like.
Can I do both?
You could do both, probably.
Both is appreciated.
As long as your screen is clean, like, lick away.
All right, cool. Finally, my dev career paid off.
That's right. And I did just want to point out that was an excellent typo, by the way.
All right,
what
next
do we have up next?
Attacking the attack.
Attack.
All right, remote code execution vulnerability.
So I read this like a week and a half ago, and it's not very fresh in my mind right now. So I'm gonna wing it here. So there's the Trend Micro anti-theft toolkit and a researcher who goes by the alias Hyperlinks has reported he found a security vulnerability in Trend Micro ATTK. Explaining this flaw in his advisory, he stated the flaw could be enabled, could rather enable a potential attacker to execute code. Ironically, exploiting this vulnerability could therefore permit running malware. The vulnerability could serve as a persistent vector for running the malware and could execute the code each time ATTK would run. In addition to the advisory, the researcher also shared a proof of concept video for the exploit. Nothing like releasing POC code before they patch, right? Upon discovering the flaw, the researchers reported to Trend Micro in September. The vendor confirmed the vulnerability after a few days passed. The affected versions 1.62 and below for Windows. Following this report, they released an updated version that patches the bug. So never mind what I said before. They patched it before I released it. Users should be updating their systems to the latest version, yada, yada, yada. Oh, by the way, Avast also got owned recently. If you didn't know, they have to let us know at the bottom of the article, which is funny. We already covered that.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's that. Also, Trend Micro will run anything if it's named command.exe. Yeah, run this for me, won't you?
How in the hell do you? Wow, like, yeah.
That's like the okay, cool.
I mean, this is crap I would have tried 20 years ago.
Well, what was it, like 2 months ago? We did another one. I can't remember. It wasn't a Semantic. No, it wasn't Semantic. It was someone else. I can't, or it may have been Semantic, where if you renamed it to game.exe or like any of the games, it would run it regardless.
What's her name? It got acquired by BlackBerry. Silence.
Silence. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. It wasn't Semantic. It was the other crappy one.
Yeah. It was the quote unquote AI. Yeah.
AI. That's
they don't know the difference between AI and machine learning.
They really don't. Well, at least marketing doesn't. Hopefully, some of their actual engineers do.
I mean, technically, isn't machine learning just a subset of AI?
No.
Okay.
No. AI is actual independent thinking, independently being able to process and have the decision-making process. Whereas machine learning is creating an algorithm that you can stuff everything into that comes out with an expected result based upon, millions or billions of iterations of training.
Okay.
AI is
if
not
statements.
supposed to go through that if-then statements. And AI is not supposed to have to go through iterations of training, everything else. It's supposed to be able to...
I mean, a neural network is a form of AI, and it does take training. I mean, and a true artificial intelligence would be trained. A human being is trained.
No. Not once you get to true artificial intelligence. It doesn't.
Well, you have to find true artificial intelligence. Someone can be artificially intelligent without passing the Turing test.
No, you'd have to essentially pass the Turing test.
My understanding, AI is basically making a computer do things that normally you would only apply to human thought, like pattern recognition and so forth. So I would still say machine learning is a subset of AI.
No, I mean, what you just described is still machine learning. That's not AI. AI is not having to go through the entire training process and being able to distinguish and come up with a solution without a training. Similar to a human.
Let me go look at some definitions.
Yeah, I mean, AI is the biggest marketing buzz term ever.
I'd say they use machine learning as a buzz term more than they do AI even.
I mean, machine learning actually is appropriate. Machine learning coincides or runs side by side with neural networks. And apparently I have a screaming child upstairs. That's awesome. But yeah, machine learning and neural networks are very similar. And then you have supervised versus unsupervised. So it gets very fun. He's really happy. I'm going to mute for a moment.
I have captions on, and I'm wondering if Google is going to pick up those screams and start captioning them out. Oh, no, it is not doing that. That's kind of funny. All right. Android malware you can't uninstall.
All right, this is great. So it's called X Helper, and it's been around since March. It's installed on about 32,000 devices by August, and a total of 45,000 by this month per Symantec. This malware is not so bad. It does advertising shit and pop unders and type things, just things that you. It's bad that you can't uninstall it. You can wipe your device and it comes back. So it's installed by people who are installing third-party APK files with that are they actually put these APKs out there that have been modified with this shit, and then people who download them and they install them and they click allow installation from unknown sources because that's always a good idea, especially when you can't verify where it came from. It has intrusive pop-up ads and notification spam. The ads and notifications redirect users to the Play Store where they install even more apps, and those apps help them get some pay-per install commission stuff. The most interesting thing is it doesn't work like other malware. Once the Trojan gains access to the Android device via the initial app, it installs itself as a separate, self-standing service. And even if you uninstall the original app, it won't go away. That'll live on forever.
Yeah, because if you're doing a hard reset, you're not removing Android itself. You're just removing all of the apps. So it's actually embedding itself inside of the operating system itself. So you would have to literally flush the phone and put completely new Android firmware and
you'd have to root it. You'd probably have to root it to do that
from scratch. Yeah, ADB it and do all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
it's not uncommon on a lot of devices to do something like this and to enable the developer options and enable side loading. If anybody's ever installed Kodi on any type of an Android interface, well, up until maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, you always had to do this.
And what about internal applications as well? So, like, your company has an internal application that for some reason you're using it. It might not be signed correctly, or it might not be available on the Google Store. So, see that being a vector as well.
Yeah.
Or a variable, I guess.
Yeah, but
I downloaded stuff from like APK Pure and other sites when I couldn't get it for whatever reason, and I probably shouldn't have. But you do stupid shit sometimes.
Yes, you do.
It's just you. No.
Yes, nobody else.
Just me. Yeah, nobody else has ever installed an unverified, unsigned APK file that they found on some random website.
Research purposes.
Yeah, and two, I mean, if you do want to do that, and from a research perspective, have burner Android phones. Don't run it on the newest and great. Don't run it on your phone. Run it on other things if you actually want to research something, or try to load it into an emulator. But not everything does work, from a malware perspective correctly in an emulator. That's all purpose, because that's a sandbox for them. So you can always have the $15, $20 cheapo, Android phone and be able to run things on there.
Yep.
Okay.
Last whole discussion about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there's a weekly bulletin. You should check it out. It's awesome. Weekly bulletin. Totally awesome. Caprico will tell you more about this.
Yeah. So every week at the end of the section of vulnerable stuff in the show notes, we put out the weekly vulnerability summary that is put out by CISA. And there is the vulnerabilities that have been reported on the weekly basis. So you can take a look at those as well. For instance, this week, some of the top notable ones. Facebook WhatsApp for Android has a heap buffer overflow bug in it. Citrus application delivery controller and gateway has an issue there. So if you're a systems administrator, researcher, or whatever, this is a good spot to go figure out if you need to patch your stuff and or some new research opportunities as well. So keep on your toes, both from a researcher perspective and as a system admin or network admin or whatever your job title is in IT. Keep up to date on vulnerabilities and patches that are there. Like I said, we put this here every week so that you guys have it ready and there that are listening to the podcast or watching.
And also bookmark it.
Yeah.
And by the way, refer to it being in the show notes. So the show notes should be linked in the YouTube video.
Yep. So
Yes.
The show notes are in the description of the YouTube video. They are the first link. They're labeled show notes. And also, if you want to support the show, go to Subscribestar and Patreon there to support Irongeek and all that he does, going to cons, getting us all the information from all over the industry, and
Pissing off the SJWs.
well, that kind of just wow.
I'd be doing that for free.
That's the
I think if we weren't paying him to do that, he would still do that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So if you want to support the show and also Adrian's travels to different cons and getting us the content that we crave and desire as InfoSec and hackers, go to Patreon. Help
Luckily, pretty much most of the cons pay for my travel, other than maybe if I'm driving. But it does allow me to buy some meat at the con.
Yeah.
And video equipment, because I just lost the video dongle.
Yeah. Equipment, software, time, because we want to support Adrian and the time that he puts in on these things, because it is not easy. The amount of stuff that he puts out for one person to do that is a lot of work. So anyway, go do that. All right. So next up.
Okay, now that we've taken offering.
Yeah, right. Before we lose it. All right. So this came up on my radar, and it's the Stand With Coalfire hashtag. So
Coalfire.
I have this labeled as added insight and insight into this kind of thing happening before. It's not very well explained, but the CEO of Coalfire put out a statement today, yesterday, putting out a public statement about the Coalfire incident that happened in Iowa with the state government during a pen test. A little bit of background for those that don't know or are just seeing this for the first time. Back on September 11th of this year, two Coalfire employees were arrested while conducting a physical penetration test at one of the government buildings in Dallas County, Iowa, and are now on trial. It's not on trial. They are now being charged at this point with third-degree burglary, as per the statement here, and
that could ruin their careers too.
Yeah,
ruin their careers, they should be fired. Fuck that.
It was
reduced
from third degree to possession of burglary tools to criminal trespass.
Yeah,
which is
Iowa is not a lock-picking state. Lock-picking states.
Yeah, but you're also going to have like shimmers and everything else. It's not only going to be lock picks.
Right. I mean, even when I'm on site and when I do penetration testing, I'm usually not going for the locks. I'm going to figure out a way around those kind of things there because I don't want to be sitting there fiddling with a lock when I can easily just slip something in between the door and the hinge, or not the hinge, door and the latch, and just pop it open that way. It's a lot faster.
Caprico learned the hard way and lost 2 credit cards. Don't use a credit card.
Yeah, don't use credit cards.
Put your names on.
I bought a 3D printer after that.
Yeah, with your name on
With your names. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have never done that. I have never done that.
Yeah, use somebody else's library card.
No, believe it or not, yeah, somebody did that.
Plastic knives. Oh, it wasn't me. Just for clarification.
It was not you.
You guys are making it sound like it's me. It's not me.
Well, not this time.
I would never do that. I have tool sets for that, actually. And I don't have my FISEC bag in reach, but yeah, we actually got a bunch of like shims or whatever. You also can use plastic knives, all that other stuff. But the statement from the CEO does put some insight and a little bit more context into what actually happened during the pen test. So a brief synopsis as I go through here. After gaining access to the judicial branch building, our employees were in communications with our client at the state level to let them know of their successful entry. They even left business cards at the desk of an employee. The following morning, a state employee acknowledged the entry, stating, "I guess I owe you congratulations." The day after the successful entry into the judicial branch, the employees walked up to the main entrance of the Dallas County Courthouse around midnight. Our employees could have simply walked through the front door since it was open. However, they chose to close the door and lock it so they could provide the state of Iowa with insights on ways that criminals could gain access. Our employees, being of the highest caliber and committed to delivering the best results on the project, chose to give the county the benefit of the doubt and test the courthouse as if they found it in a secure state, which is what it was not. After gaining access through the locked door, our team intentionally tripped the alarm in order to test the security response, which was an objective of the project. After setting off the alarm in the Dallas courthouse, this is Dallas County, Iowa, not Dallas, Texas, Mr. Wynn and Mr. DeMercio, hopefully I got that right, stayed at the courthouse to meet the county law enforcement responding to the alarm. When the initial law enforcement arrived, there were no issues as the team explained what they were doing and presented our engagement letter along with identification. As the team waited for a deputy to verify their credentials, they then showed the remaining officers how entry was made, along with some of the tools and tactics that could have been used, much to the deputy's delight, which I believe would have been evident if video or response was made publicly available. The team was ready to go after one of the deputies returned the authorization letter to them and stated, "You guys should be all good to go." It was at this point that the local sheriff, Chad Leonard, arrived at the Dallas courthouse. Despite the letter of authorization, his deputies on site already and having those deputies verifying the team, state employees urging their release, the local sheriff proceeded to arrest both of them. So, failing to de-escalate the issue and bring state/county politics, Sheriff Leonard communicated in an email that this building belonged to the taxpayers of Dallas County and the state had no authority to authorize a break-in. Leonard also added that a state employee asked him not to tell other sheriffs about the incident to ensure the operation continued at other locations, but he was going to tell every sheriff. Oh boy!
So
tattletale.
So basically, it was a big pissing match between politicians.
Yeah, so it's not even like between politicians. This is state and local employees. So, or the state employees and the local sheriffs of Dallas County.
Well,
so,
no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if it was like the proper sheriff, then that's an elected position. So basically, it's a politician that didn't like the fact that the state, made an ass of him. So he was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna get you right back."
Right. So we're caught in and so InfoSec kind of is in between a pissing match in Iowa, between all these things. Right now, and another interesting fact, the sheriff actually raised the bail to $100,000. So
such an ass.
Yeah. So, and to be fair, Coalfire has done hundreds of these engagements. These two guys have been doing this for years, and this is the same kind of thing that I do myself. Like right 2 weeks after this story happened, I went on a physical engagement, and I did the exact same thing that these guys were doing. So,
and then he got physical.
I thought that one that was out of. I thought that the original story was that they were out of scope, and it was an area that was definitely off limits.
That's what was pressed. So that's what was in the press. So now I'm getting two different. Now we're getting one thing from one side and one thing from the other side, which is probably. This is, like you said before, this is a pissing match. So they're going to try and CYA both sides. Like I can see that happening. Now, granted, do I say that a statement of work and state trumps local government in this case? Yes, because that's how government is structured.
Well, no, I mean, you're supposed to bring in, at least at a high level, all the relevant stakeholders. Before you commence a test of that nature, because otherwise you get problems like this.
Right.
You get
unless you think that you oversee those relevant stakeholders.
Yeah.
You still have to bring them in, because they could still give you a hard way to go about it. Like this sheriff, because he's up in his feelings. His wife's maybe not giving him the cheeks that he desires. So.
Oh, shit. I love you, Jack.
What?
Or depending upon where he's a politician, he may not desire those cheeks. May desire, another man or something like that.
That's why I kept it in general. Like cheeks.
I'm not judging.
It could be whatever cheeks you desire.
Thine cheeks be desired. But I wanted to bring this up because, and add a little bit of insight into, like, this happens not to this scale, but this happens a lot in physical penetration testing. This isn't anything that's super new. It just hasn't happened to this scale.
Right.
We hadn't made this many headlines either.
Right, and I mean, you might get an overzealous. This might be an overzealous security guard that feels like he's stopped the whole Watergate break-in, and he wants to press charges to the nth degree.
Right. So, and for instance, we've had, just in the past year, there's been a couple of instances that we've had where clients have literally berated us and not paid us because we broke in, doing what we told them we were going to do, and we have been talking about doing, and what they signed on for and paid for. And granted, if it's just that, fine, whatever. We just won't work with you anymore, and we'll move on to the next millions of other companies that need to be tested in that manner.
Hey, but now everybody knows where to go for a free pen test.
Not free. Not free.
Capital
so there was a retainer?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not something that's completely new. People get pissed off bigger than shit when you break in. Sometimes when you break into a facility, like, they'll question, like, I've had my morals questioned, I've had my dignity questioned, I've been yelled at.
But did they accuse you of stealing something?
No, but it wasn't. I haven't been accused of stealing something, but
their trust in mankind.
No, because that one break-in I did at that in that one metro area, they accused me of taking a bunch of shit, and I was like, no. I mean, clearly you could see me on camera, and it was their security guards that weren't paying attention to seeing me walk around.
Yeah,
and
which I thought was funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so with this kind of stuff, it happens more than you would think, and I think it actually amplified it a little bit because now everyone's like, well, now we can just like this happened. They're not supposed to do that. It's whatever. I hate it. Like it at some point like this is a miscommunication and a pissing match, but in terms of what I've experienced, where I've actually been berated on what I looked like when I was on site, and I'm like, but I got into your server room.
Okay, the child care facility is over here.
And they do not provide free milk. I'm sorry.
No. I'm gonna little itty bitty rant. A lot of people are expecting like Tom Cruise, James Bond type people to come in and break into stuff.
No.
Now hold up. Let me finish.
That is definitely Caprico.
Yeah, right. So then I show up and then just break them bigger than shit, and they're all like up in arms. It's like, oh, you don't look like you don't fit the culture here. I'm like, no, I don't, but I still broke in. I'm not trying to fit your culture. I'm fitting whatever my pretext is.
Exactly.
It's surprise Pikachu.jpg all over, you know?
Yeah.
It's goofy time.
Let's just say that was not a nice report that they got. Because they gave us a hard time even after that. Like I de-escalated that, and they even gave me a harder time on the review call after we gave them a really nice report, and then we made some amendments.
I like the Second Amendment and the First Amendment.
Yeah. But also other companies have come forth in support of coal fire as well, and the community has also come together that do a lot of the people that I know that do physical penetration testing as kind of like their main gig are coming together to get these all charges dropped now. Trusted Sec has come out with this. Who changed it in the show notes to Trusted Sex?
That's what I was wondering about. I was like, yeah,
nice one. And socialengineer.com. If you've been to any of the InfoSec conferences, that is the company that and the guy that runs the social engineering villages. So if you were at DerbyCon this year, Human Hacker is the guy that runs that company. Dave Kennedy did the write-up for Trusted Sec, and I'm saying here, I want those charges dropped because like knee-jerk states like California and a lot of the East Coast states, they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction if any sort of legislation goes into effect on physical pen testing. And that's not only going to affect my work, but it's also going to affect security of physical security in those areas like Silicon Valley and California. That's a huge amount of companies that need to be tested. And I can tell you right now, they are not great.
Nope. That just means that you're going to have to start applying for. You're going to have to apply for a PI license, and then whatever state you're working in, that's where you're going to have to pay for that license.
Yep. So
that's what it did for some forensics work.
Getting a PI license is not easy in New York. You have to work under a PI for like a year before they'll even consider it.
I know. That's why it's funny.
What?
Oh, that's why it's funny? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you say so.
There's
That's
context
why Jack has
that
2 names.
I'm sorry. The headphones. Anyone that was wearing headphones, I'm sorry. That was really loud. But yeah, so if you're a physical pen tester, or if you want to make sure that your guys' buildings are secure, and you also want to like work with people to show upper management or whatever that this is going to be something that is going to be actively attacked, and it is a vulnerability, we can't only be focused on data security in terms of the internet and our networks. We also have to worry about the physical side. Someone can just walk in most of the places that at least I have tested, and just walked in, taken a couple pictures, and walked right out. So it is a very easy way to get information and also gain footholds into networks. So, and for penetration testers that are worried about this, don't be yet, but also show some support there. And also know that we're probably going to still be able to do this for a very long time.
Heck yeah.
So there's my rant, I guess. Because within that little bit of added context, it brings up more questions for me, but it also shows another side that I can get on board with and be like, okay, I've seen this happen on the client side in the corporate world. I haven't seen it in municipal government, but this sounds like a super real possibility, as it happened to us like literally this week. So yeah. and also realize that that pen test that they were conducting was a multi-phase pen test. That is a lot of money that both Coalfire is losing now, possibly. Hopefully the state still pays them, and including the damages of like bail and whatever. So
come on now. That's a state government. They don't have the money budgeted like that they could just just cash it out like that.
Not $100K.
Yeah, they'll be lucky if they get some. They'll get prorated for the work that they've done so far, and that's considered themselves extremely lucky.
That's a state government. Just go to the freaking governor and give him a pardon.
Yeah, he should, considering all this shit.
Yeah, and also probably reprimand that cop as much as I. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's not a cop. It's not a cop. It's a sheriff. Like I said, it's an elected position. So
exactly, and he's probably I think is
probably
trying to show his stance on crime.
And he's probably up for re-election here real soon.
Exactly.
We should all take up a fund to give to his opponent.
Oh, we could get political ads on Twitter. Oh, wait, no, we can't. Because Twitter's going to X out political ads. Oh, that sucks. That's so sad.
Facebook took the opposite stance. They're saying that they're not going to censor political speech at all, even if the ads are containing lies.
That's nice. What I thought was fun. They're taking the cable TV approach.
Nice.
You can put anything up on cable. Like local TV, you can throw any ad that you want up there, regardless of whether it's true or not.
That's why I don't watch local television, especially during elections.
I don't.
I watch the local news, and that's like it. And that's like maybe 2 times a week, 1 time a week.
I think I told you guys this, but I went on a hiatus from cable in general for like 2 years. And the only reason I went back to it was so that I could watch Mr. Robot, and I just went through Hulu, and I went back to to watch like network news or whatever, and I was just like, oh dear God, now I remember why I didn't do this.
Exactly. It all sucks.
Like, what a troll fest. Like, literally,
Yes.
And then I was watching Democrats at the debate reading like this the entire time.
Yeah, that's an amazing debate.
No, I'm like, You guys were reading off teleprompters. Like, they're somewhere. Like, I have no idea where they are, but they are somewhere in that room.
Yes.
Like some of them had them. Like some of them had probably like notes or whatever, so that it didn't look like they were using a teleprompter. But then other ones were just like teleprompter.
Yeah.
Like, go watch, any of the Hack 5 shows because they use teleprompters for some of their shows, and then go watch the Democratic debates and just watch their eyes and compare. Like, you are gonna get your mind blown. It's hilarious. You think CNN's not doing that? I mean, any of those places aren't doing that? Oh my gosh. Those debates are scripted, man.
Uh-oh.
And there's my
now
anarchist
down the conspiracy theories.
I'm just seeing what I'm seeing, man.
John McAfee, 2020.
Yeah.
Make hookers and blow great again.
Have you actually looked up the candidates? Yeah, right?
No.
Have you actually looked up the libertarian candidates?
Who is it now?
Well, okay, so there's one, and he's run every time, but it's super humorous. Let me pull it up real quick. I looked it up because I was curious on who it was, and I was explaining it to someone. They're a weird bunch. Like, you're always going to get some weird ones. Okay, share screen, and I want this one. So, yeah, we already mentioned John McAfee is... All right, maximize, please. Whoa, okay. John McAfee is one of them. Then there's this guy.
Oh, the boot head dude?
Yeah, boot hat. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, that is awesome. Berman Supreme.
Yeah.
And he's only 57? Man, he has had a rough life.
Yeah. Yeah. So, performance artist and activist candidate for president in 1992, 96, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016.
Wow.
And the candidate for mayor in Detroit, Michigan in 1989, as well as candidate for mayor in Baltimore, Maryland in 1987. And he is from Kansas.
Man, I really wish I could have seen him actually hold an elected office. Maybe they would have issued out free, knee-high boots to everyone under him.
It looks like he watched that one VeggieTales special and just took it way too literally.
I'm pretty sure one of his plans is everybody gets a poem.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, there's a few of them. Adam Kokesh, he's a vet, I think. There's a few of them, and then there's this guy.
No, he's more like a Dodge Charger as opposed to a vet.
Oh God. This guy actually, I opened up my Instagram one day and he had went in and liked a couple of my photos from like 2 years ago, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what awesome. Is this guy? And then I saw him here. I'm like, oh no way.
I'm pretty sure that's one of our buddies, like trolling half the world. That would be awesome.
No. I verified it with people that I know that are actually members of like chapters in the Libertarian Party. I'm like, is this guy's legit account that just did this? And is this guy? And they're like, yeah, that's him. And my contact was like, yeah, I just talked to him about you. I'm like, oh God, why?
Nice. I am a little disappointed. You know, I saw internet personality, and I was hoping it was going to say disorder, but it says and podcaster.
I mean, so are we.
yeah, we definitely have internet personality disorders. I 100% agree.
We do. We're hackers. Awesome. I love this. This one gets like most stolen ad campaign.
Oh yes. Yes.
Why? It was 2016. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I thought it was just funny. And since you brought up McAfee, I remembered seeing. I think it was yesterday. I looked this up. So good timing on my part, I guess, and your part, Adrian. Oh, holy crap, Steven. All right. Well, that is it for the show notes, other than other stuff. So in other stuff, we've got White House kicks IT security team to the curb. What we got on that, Israel? Did you throw that one up there, or okay?
I think Frankie Frank did.
Frankie Frank did. And he even read it, but that was like a week ago. So internal White House memo published today by Axios reveals the recent changes to the information operations and security organizations there have left the security team in tumult, with many members headed to the door. And the chief of the White House's computer network defense branch, who wrote the memo after submitting his resignation, warned the White House was likely headed towards another network compromise and theft of data. That's the gist of it. There's more, but are we going to read them more? No, we're going to move on to something else.
There we go.
Well, why not? Why not talk about the implications of it? I mean, you put it up there, so you should know that there's an issue with political appointees and oh gosh, sorry, I got a migraine.
Leaks.
No, political appointees.
Just thinking about all the leaks, man.
No, political appointees.
I'm leaking right now thinking about it.
All right, everyone shush. Jack, floor is yours.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Jack's like, I gotta go take a leak now.
No. It's political appointees and civil servants. So you're always gonna. Especially at the federal level, there's always this pushback because they're just there temporarily, and they don't like the fact that civil servants have to lay down what the policy is, and they feel like they're the ones the political appointees feel like they should be the ones dictating policies, which they do to an extent, and they get entertained to an extent, but for the most part, they're the civil servants are the ones that have to carry it out, and it's always this constant back and forth push and pull, especially when it comes to DC. So they're tired of just going back and forth, and that's why people are headed to the door. That's causing a big brain drain. That's why there's this big rush to leave the civil service, because people are tired of putting up with it.
Are you tired of putting up with it? Do you have to put up with it?
I'm not a civil servant. I'm a contractor, so fuck it.
No,
Would you say they're not going to take it?
They're not going
anymore.
Well, they're gonna take it until they get a better option. So why should I settle for making 65, 70K a year if this company's going to pay me twice as much to do half as much?
Mm-hmm.
Or let you do what you want to do or need to do.
Yeah.
That's always the main thing between government and the private sector. And that's kind of the main draw. Ain't that right, Charles, who is muted? Crap.
Hey, this is completely off topic, but I have to read this. I can't believe California hasn't figured out that if they just banned fires, they'd stop happening.
No, that's not how that works. None of that works.
Love it.
I'm out buying Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, so you're browsing on website?
He just bought 100 candles. Oh, wow.
He's got them scented candles and
some oils.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be working on giving Simone a little brother or a little sister.
He's gonna arrange them to say baby number 2.
Some oils and cookies and smell
baby times 2.
Yeah, some pumpkin spice and everything nice and.
All right. Speaking of, okay, so I'm going off topic, but since you said pumpkin spice, it just reminded me of something that was terrible that my bartender did to me like 2 weeks ago.
Did she touch you inappropriately?
No.
This better not be about beer, or I'm going to be very pissed off at a.
It is about a horrible beer. So I was hanging out, whatever, and I know the bartender that's usually working, and I was not at the bar where I usually sit. I was sitting in like the restaurant area or whatever, and I went up and said hi, and he said, "Nah, I'm not mad. Actually, you know what? There's this new sample that you should try." And he goes and grabs this new sample and he gives it to me. It's this real thick dark beer, and I'm usually I like a dark beer, so I go to drink it, and I'm like, oh God, what is this? It smelled like pumpkin spice, and it tasted like you took pumpkin spice and shit and put them together. And I'm like,
I mean, I understand like how you would know what the pumpkin spice tasted like. How did you know what the shit tasted like?
You know, when you have brothers and dogs, you get tripped into shit.
Man.
Hey, you fell right into that one.
Exactly. But no, I was like, what the hell was that? And he says, oh, that's the basic Betty.
Yeah, there was nothing advanced about her.
I was like, holy crap. So there's literally a beer that has pumpkin spice right now that I was like, no.
Basic Betty.
Oh my God. It is terrible, and I hope Betty hates it.
There's always something special at Piggly Wiggly.
And it was originally a joke, like they were gonna throw those out there and be like, no one's gonna buy like more than whatever. No, people are actually some people are actually liking it, and it's basic beer.
That's only once they're completely plastered off their ass and.
No, they start with that, man.
Flavor anymore. That's horrible.
Oh my God. Like, granted, like Truly's a thing right now, so, or not Truly, White Claw.
Oh my God! Really, that basic this wine cooler?
Yeah, right.
I saw guys I know drinking White Claw. I was like, excuse me, what?
Let me just sit here with my T-Rex branded pseudo-sue here.
Yeah.
That stuff is good. I miss that. I actually had one like 2 weeks ago, right before I went to a metal show that was in like an hour away from here. So good. Actually, Jack, do you ever go to the Granada?
Not.
No.
Oh, dude, you missed out. So much fun.
Dude, I was only there from it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
No, I flew out Monday.
Only like a month.
No, I think I flew out Monday or Tuesday morning, something like that. I mean, I was there like 5 days, and
yeah, show was on Friday.
There was so much to beat up. I mean, take in and do.
That's right.
I got you. I was just curious if you ever went out there, because then it's a cool spot.
Hey,
all right.
Public announcement. Just breaking news. Apparently,
Charles is going to be a dad again. Oh wait, what?
No. Apparently, somebody tweeted "Rest in peace, Deadspin."
Again. Damn, really?
Yeah.
I know there's some complaints because there was some guy they told to stop writing about politics, and they kept writing about politics, and they fired him.
Yeah.
And I don't know the details beyond that. I'm not into sports.
Me neither. Not like that, but yeah. Deadspin is, writers quit after being ordered to stick to sports. So several they quit in masses.
Well, it's a fucking sports website. What the hell is it supposed to focus on?
I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. Yeah, it's nuts.
I remember seeing a video from Tim Pool on it, but it seemed to be a case of, you don't want your journalists necessarily being hamstringed on what they can talk about. However, if it's a sports site and you're talking about politics all the time, I can see how that would be fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First of all, stop talking about politics when politics are not even like the topic.
And I think I need to start doing some more odd groups of the week.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to resurrect that because, again, we need to start doing it in. Well, we'll talk about it offline, live. We need to start cleaning house in our industry with that, bringing politics into everything. That's my mistake. I'll wait till we're off air.
All right. What else we got in other stuff?
We got
Trez. You all right, Trez?
All right. Can you hear me now? So I know I've just knocked my phone on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
What are you doing over there scrubbing and scraping?
Did you apologize to your phone?
No.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. So next is another dumbass reporter asked a hacker to hack them. So they did. Also, this was all social engineering and no computer hacking. So, but the article the way they write it, it's like, oh, she hacked my stuff, hacked my data. So, no, social engineering. But not that the average person knows even what that word means. So,
but to be clear, social engineering is utilized
it's
as
a form of hacking.
Tool, in a hacker's playbook. So it's involved in the hacking process.
So this is one of the girls who was in the social engineering village at DEF CON with Hadnaggy. It does this stuff. I think I've actually seen her at one or two cons do this kind of stuff in the phone booth with the talking. So,
she was on. She was in a special on Darknet Diaries. That's why I recognize the name.
What's her name?
Yeah, she's the one who did the thing. She's the one who did the thing. Where the hell is it now?
Rachel Toback.
Oh yeah.
She did the thing with the crying baby. She's popular for that.
Oh
with
yeah,
the baby crying in the background when she calls.
That's her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Huh. She's lost weight. Good for her.
Oh shit, that's going to come back and bite me in the ass.
I said it. I'm saying.
I'll get the plane though.
All right. Funny. I will take any brunt of that.
Okay.
My handle is
in the show
notes.
No, you're underage. Nobody can come against you until you're at least 18.
Exactly. Shut up. They didn't even know about that.
For the sake of this conversation, Israel is your legal guardian.
That's
please,
right.
Please put everything to Israel@gmail.com. All complaints.
And all of your paychecks will be going to me until you are of responsible age.
Oh man, have I got stories for you after the cast? I just killed Charles.
All right, so the next one is pretty funny. So some students wanted to win a water gun fight, so they hacked thousands of records. They wanted to know where the students lived, and to do that, they got in the school records that had all sorts of other shit they shouldn't have had.
There's this game called Assassin. And it used to play on college campuses, my thing, back in the early 90s. I didn't know they were still doing it.
Yeah, we still play that.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I used to play that.
Yeah.
And you would try to find a person, you'd shoot them with a squirt gun or one of those little foam dart guns and shit.
Caprico is your legal guardian. I don't give you permission to do that anymore.
As a rebellious anarchist, I don't give a hell.
Fine, you're never gonna see any money.
That's fine.
You're
not my dad.
Can you be my legal guardian?
I'll
be your legal guardian,
It
Charles.
depends. It depends. When do I get my second grandchild?
Oh my God!
Israel, can we be like his legal, like joint legal guardians, so that we're grandparents of every other sibling?
Yeah, I need legal guidance.
Bro, you need guidance. Have more grandkids.
You need guidance? Here's a compass. Figure it out.
By the way, there was another article on this that I saw last week and heard about while listening to Grumpy Hackers last week. Apparently, it was not so that they would win the water fight. It was so that they could get addresses to invite them and let them know when the game was starting and like what the rules were and whatever. So they hacked into it to actually grab stuff.
Yeah.
This sounds like a plan that was formulated when, like 3 or 4 guys were sitting around in a dorm room completely toked up and,
This is
happy.
a high school. This is a high school.
Oh, it's a high school?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was like freshmen in college. Oh,
no,
this is your
high
crowd.
school.
Like, where do you guys do this stuff at?
Senior in high school.
Oh, a senior. Okay. So
Yeah,
where do you guys
in
come
high
up
school.
with these kinds of plans? Being that you're going to be in high school here soon, like, where do these types of plans get formulated?
It's terrible.
Same way that I formulate all of my social engineering pretexts.
I see.
A lot of bourbon.
Nice.
Beer and bourbon.
Burp.
The 2 B's that will get you through life. Beer and bourbon.
Yes.
And get you a career, apparently. If you possess the skills to pay the bills.
But to remember, bourbon than beer, you're in the clear. Ooh.
So
No.
have no fear.
No, it's the other way around.
It's highly dependent on the amount.
So have no fear.
If you're on the mead, you give no heed.
No, that is the proper way. Liquor than beer, you're in the clear.
No.
Beer than liquor, never been sicker. Yes.
No. Oh yeah. No, you're right. It's liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, never been sicker.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Yes. You have to go in the appropriate order. Orders matter, Charles.
In what world?
Your next child's world.
Or child's children.
Another me in the world.
Holy crap! You're gonna have triplets? What?
Moving on. All right. Iranian hacking group targeted satellite industry nerds. Question mark on that. So, Iranian hacking group targeted satellite industry nerds. Law enforcement found. Okay.
Go ahead.
Law enforcement found hackers from a well-known group of cyber vandals trying to trick satellite trackers into installing malware. Iranian hackers breached computers of the American satellite technology industry with help from a fake website and an unsuspecting college professor. Court documents obtained by the Daily Beast show that show that the FBI believes Iranian hackers going by the nicknames MRSCO and N3O may have been involved in attempted breaches. The hackers, members of long-running Iranian hacker collective known as Iranian Dark Coders Team, have become known for defacing websites with pro-Iranian and Hezbollah propaganda, hacking gas station pumps, terminals online, and attacking Israeli credit card companies over the past 7 years. So now they're going after satellites to install malware on satellites.
Oh, yeah. All I asked for was sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads.
It could be sharks with laser beams on a satellite.
Freaking overachievers.
Okay. Okay, GCHQ foils cyber attack plots to imitate fire brigade and hack airlines. Another one that isn't paywall. Get away from me. Privacy, whatever. All right. Cyber attacks from Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea pose strategic national security risks to the UK, according to CEO of UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC. Kyron, I can't. Mr. Martin also warned that large-scale global crime was a threat to, quote, our fabric, our way of life, and our economic prosperity, end quote. Despite often being, quote, low in sophistication, Mr. Martin made his comments in a foreword in the NCSC's annual review, which details the group's achievements in the last year. So, yeah. So this basically goes ahead and says that they're doing a good job and that we need to ramp up efforts. And it also notes that on Monday, NCSC published the results of a 2-year investigation conducted with the U.S.'s National Security Agency, the NSA, which accused a group known as Turla with suspected links to the Russian government of attacks on multiple countries. According to the NCSC and NSA, Turla stole Iranian tools and infrastructures to obscure the origins of its attacks. Or Iranians just gave them to them?
Yeah.
That's more likely what happened. Never make a narrative.
That's right.
Never pose a narrative. You know how secure your IoT stuff is? Just make laws that it has to be secure. So this is from The Hill. Democrats offer cybersecurity bill for Internet of Things. Democratic lawmakers in the House and Senate on Tuesday, and this was posted the 22nd. So this is last week, Tuesday. The Cybersecurity Shield Act, sponsored by Senator Ed Markey, the Democratic representative of Massachusetts, and Representative Ted Lieu, the Democratic representative of California. Okay, cool. Knee jerks. Would establish an advisory committee comprised of cyber experts from government, industry, and academia to create cyber benchmarks, and that's in quotes, for internet-connected devices, also known as Internet of Things devices. IoT devices, which include your mobile phones to baby monitors, can then be built by manufacturers to meet these security standards and be given a cyber shield, quote, end quote there, label to show consumers they meet these benchmarks. Interesting. That's not going to backfire at all. Never. All right.
Just like compliance. Once you're compliant, you are obviously secure.
Yeah, that's the same thing as it's another compliancy. So we all right, whatever. Chinese cyber spies breached TeamViewer in 2016. So TeamViewer said it detected and stopped the attack before hackers could do any damage. So Chinese-sponsored hackers breached German software maker TeamViewer in 2016. The company confirmed today to ZDNet after a report by a German newspaper, Der Spiegel, in autumn 2016, or from the article, I guess, or the newspaper, quote, in autumn 2016, TeamViewer was the target of a cyber attack, a TeamViewer spokesperson said via email. Our systems detected the suspicious activity in time to prevent any major damage. The TeamViewer spokesperson told ZDNet that an investigation was conducted at the time, but did not find any evidence of abuse. So TeamViewer is getting a lot of push, but this is back in 2016. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Weren't they just breached?
I think half the world knew about that.
Yeah.
2 years ago too. So
3 years ago.
Or 3 years ago now. Wow.
Yeah.
That's been
almost
a long time.
Almost 4. We got 2020 on the horizon here. All right, next up, Equifax lawsuit. Quote admin as the password at the time of the 2017 breach. Oh boy. The one blog I have on my blog is about something similar to this. Oh my God, paywall. Ads everywhere. Okay, so the Equifax breach took place in 2017, but even 2 years later, it is still regarded as one of the worst of all time. The Equifax breach happened because a firm failed to patch a web server, which is itself a very basic error. But now a class action lawsuit shows that things were allegedly even worse. If you never thought it could get worse, I came onto the podcast talking about Equifax. We're still talking about Equifax. Brace yourself, because this isn't going to make pretty reading, especially if you're a cybersecurity professional, which at this point I will say kind of. According to the filing in the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division, Equifax was protecting sensitive personal information on a portal used to manage credit disputes with the username admin. Okay, username. That's fine. And if that wasn't enough, the password protecting data was probably the first one the attacker would guess. Yes, that's right. It was also, quote, admin, according to the lawsuit.
Whoa. But with a capital A, so it's obviously secure then.
No, this is lowercase on both attempts, on both sides.
Oh, was it really lowercase?
You fucking serious?
I am fucking serious. This is what this article is. I didn't put this here. Trez did. He's having audio issues right now. And he had to hop off. So the class action lawsuit calls this a surefire way to get hacked. Yeah. You think there isn't a scraper that's running the entire internet right now trying admin on everything? Yeah. You'll get hit a lot. But that is not all. The lawsuit also points out that Equifax was storing unencrypted user data and on a public-facing server, so it could be viewed by any attacker who chose to compromise it. Meanwhile, Equifax didn't encrypt its mobile applications either. And when it did encrypt data, it left the encryption keys on the same public-facing servers. Ta-da! Equifax. We're still talking about it. And then it goes into the fallout of 2017. But if you're new to this, go check that out. I mean, if you don't know about it at this point, there's a lot of reading that you're
sleeping in a cave.
Now, motherfuckers see why I want the cash payout rather than the fucking years of credit monitoring. Because fuck.
Yeah, this is like and I don't know if you guys remember this, but like I think it was like the second month or so that I was on the podcast, we talked about the investigation of who should still be on like the leading committees and the board and whatever in terms of management. Yeah. This was forever ago. But yeah, all the people that were there and were the head, like department, like heads, like head honchos at Equifax that were there during the 2017 breach and let this stuff happen. They're still there, by the way, as I just knocked my pop filter.
Yes.
And the
I
ones
thought the music major left.
Nope.
Well, she was forced into retirement, right?
She left on her own accord, from what I read in press statements, but she was also in some like other division that wasn't quite tech. It was like something else.
Yeah, but it was her name on the chopper block.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But the people that were in charge of actually like the technology sphere and everything like that, they are still there and are on the board as well of the company. So that politics is an interesting dynamic, especially since the who was the department that did, or the company that did the Capricorn's Cave. Let me try that again. I wrote a blog about it, and that's why I'm going to my blog to figure out what I wrote.
Words.
Blog. No change in Equifax leadership. I wrote a blog about this. This was forever ago. IIS. So that group did the investigation, and they found that the people that should have left they're still at the company. So it's bad. Yeah, and it's whatever. So I mean, there's also the fact that you're not able to, when you get into a position like that, it's really hard to get out of because there's contracts, there's stock, like all this other stuff. There's a lot of money involved. Like moving people around like that is not
ropes, handcuffs.
Yeah. It's not
bullshit. It's real easy to move.
Yeah, but if they wanted to deal with it while they're going through, quote, the worst breach of all time,
it fucking happens.
No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. So I mean, you gotta change it. Like, yeah.
I mean, don't you guys remember my fault, Cap. You weren't even thought of back then. But the SNL scandals of the 80s were those people being brought out in handcuffs doing a perp walk.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, I wasn't around then.
No, you weren't. Literally.
Jack's just about ready to die.
No, I'm just here, man. I'm just here.
Jack's good.
Yeah.
I actually have a pretty extensive timeline on this article too. I forgot I did that. When did I post this? June 5th, 20.
Back whenever you were about 11 or 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was in Europe when I wrote that. No, this was before you. Well, this is after.
No, I think you was in Europe.
Oh yeah, no, I was in Europe. Yeah, I remember that now. That was a big deal. It's like one of two blogs on my blog.
One of two blogs on my blog.
All right. So that conclude. Oh, wait, one more. Major German manufacturer still shut down a week after getting ransomware. So this major German. So Pills.
This major German. Yes, you gotta love a major German.
Yeah. So we call them Uber German.
Uber German
manufacturer, yeah. So Pills, a German company making automation tool, was infected with the BitPaymer ransomware on October 13th. So since Sunday, October 13th, 2019, all servers and PC workstations, including the company's communication, have been affected worldwide, the German-based company wrote on its website. As a precaution, the company has removed all computer systems from the network and blocked access to the corporate network. All the company's locations across 76 countries were impacted and were disconnected from the main network, unable to file orders and check customer statuses. Ooh, so blame BitPaymer. The German company, known for its automation relays, controllers, and sensors, is the latest in a long line of BitPaymer victims. Martin van Danzig, Zig.
Hold on, let me take a look.
Dantzig. Danzig.
Yeah.
Lead intelligence analyst at Fox IT told ZDNet today. Martin was able to tie Pill's infection to BitPaymer after he found and analyzed a BitPaymer sample uploaded on Virus Total. The sample contained a ransomware note with pills-related contact details customized for the company's network. So another spot gets hit by ransomware and it goes down. Woo! Okay.
I actually have two things real quick. Good old Baghdadi, referred to by the Washington Post as an austere religious scholar. So that happened this week. And he's no longer with us, that amazing religious scholar. And then have you guys encountered this credit card readers at gas stations? Have you ever had one where you put your card in and it actually holds the card in, does a chip-based read, and then releases the card, and you can finally take your card out?
I have not run into one of those.
I have.
I've never seen the gas one that does chip validation.
Yeah, I just encountered the first one, and it's actually here locally, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And so I was like, that's actually kind of neat. So, but yeah, it actually has like two little metal prongs on the inside that inward, latch your card in there so you can't physically take it out. And then once the payment processing is complete, they release and card comes out. My only thought is they better keep the WD-40 on those. So I'm going to be pissed if I can't get my card.
Take a drill to it. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Then I totally won't be arrested. To a gas station pump?
No, not to the pump. Wait, in the pump?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were meaning like in. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You mean like inside.
Sparks. No, like sparks, all that. Yeah.
Okay, gas station pump.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about the pumps, not the. Okay, got it.
Correct. I don't go inside and pay. Come on.
Well, I grab snacks.
Yeah, I don't grab snacks.
I like snacks.
I go to a gas station to get gas.
I grab snacks.
Yeah. Just like I wouldn't buy Transformers from a grocery store.
I'm sure
those
you
are
would.
like limited edition.
Yeah, at a grocery store.
Grocery store miles, man.
Maybe I need to widen my my borders.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that is it. We have gone through everything.
Adrian.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. And as far as I know, I have no scheduled conflicts for next weekend. Next weekend. Shit. Next Wednesday. So we should be good to go. Hope to see you next Wednesday. And peace out.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Later, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. La, la,
Get spooky.